Some common misconceptions that people have about juveniles who have convicted crimes, and perhaps even other people, is that they are just horrible people. They deserved it. Throw away the key. That's kind of the mentality that I've seen from some people, and I can tell you it's not the truth.
We should be concerned about kids that receive life sentences for the same reason that we should be concerned about putting kids into the adult system. The fact that we put, last year I think in Florida, it was over 1,500 kids into the adult system is more a reflection of social trends and crime rates and individual crimes that happened 20, 25 years ago than what we now know about the teenage brain and the way kids behave.
When I first met Cynthia, she told me a story about a young man in Florida who had killed, along with several other teens, a young boy.
People don't realize how easy it really is to find yourself going around the corner, ending up committing a crime. It really is. And these are regular people, but what also I find is that they're hurting. A lot of them are hurting. They're from broken homes. They're from broken families. The research shows that. And so I think that another misconception is being that they deserve it. Well, once again, they did not ask to come here. And that's what they tell me at the jail. Ma'am, we didn't ask to come here. We didn't ask to come here. Why are we having to suffer like this? We did not ask to come here. And my heart breaks for them because they did not ask to come here.
Cynthia Tolbert is a great example of the power of local activism and how these systems need a Cynthia Tolbert to push them and advocate for change. What we need is more Cynthia Tolberts in Florida.
Cynthia's passion drew me to this project. She cares so much about young people, and she's really troubled by what's happening in Florida when it comes to incarceration and giving life sentences to juveniles.
A lot of what's happening in a kid's brain is a very good, it's not an excuse, but it's an explanation for the irrational, impulsive, and dare I say, stupid decisions that a lot of kids make.
Cynthia is one of those people who really recognizes the power of film, and she recognizes the power of film to make a change.
We've done a really good job at using confidentiality to protect the system and to protect abuse, but a very bad job at protecting the kids. So film is an incredibly important medium to tell the stories of the children and the families and to try to expose what's really happening.
What drew me to this project is that I read a book years ago, over 20 years ago, concerning the Song of Eve. So it must have been a very good book because I remembered that book above all the others that I had read, and I read very widely. And so this book highly impressed me, and I just felt impressed that it needed to be made into a movie. Be the first movie in a series of movies. It is going to introduce the Song of Eve, but really the project has just grown into ways I had never anticipated. I had not planned for it to go in this direction, but this is the direction that God has taken it in, and I'm just amazed.
Awakening is about a divinity school student who reluctantly is thrown into a situation where she has to co-minister an urban group. These are kids who have problems that she can't relate to, everything from drugs to prostitution to family violence. And when she's asked to minister this group with another pastor, she feels she can't make a difference because she has no experience in that arena. She's never had those problems herself. So like a lot of people, she turns away from them. She clashes with them. She doesn't want to help them. But over time, with the grace of God, she's able to realize that all it takes is a heart for change and a willingness to want to change. And she uses the Song of Eve to be that change, not only for herself, but also for the other young people who are impacted by their problems in their world.
This film can help, in my opinion, all people. Anytime you're directionless, anytime you do not have focus, you're going to find yourself being involved in situations and circumstances that are detrimental to you.
This story is a perfect story for KLP. We love stories that transform people's lives, and we love to follow characters as they go through a journey and find ways to draw closer and closer to their destiny.
As with everything to do with social justice issues, the more exposure, the more discussion, the more education about what's really happening, the more likely people will demand change.
These stories need to be told. These stories need to be shared, and people need to look at these stories and ask themselves, what can I do to help?
When people see this film, I want them to think. I want them to see humanity in a way that they've never seen humanity before. I want them to think about themselves in a way they've never thought about themselves before. Their uniqueness, the way that they're special, the fact that we don't need to pull people down, tear them apart. We don't to be who and what we were intended to be. That everyone has a place, everyone has a purpose, and I want them to be awakened to these ideas, to this perspective. And if they haven't found out what their purpose is, then there's a disservice that's being done to humanity, to this world. And so I want them to awaken to that. I want the younger people to awaken to the fact that they are unique and special, the fact that they're here for a reason, that they don't have to go aimlessly in circles, that guess what? Life can be difficult, it can be tough, but you don't have to regret having been sent here because there's something greater, there's something better. This is just one season. This is one moment in time, but a better day is gonna come. Change is on the horizon, and this movie, this film can make a difference if you, those of you who feel the way that I do, if you join us, if you help us to get this message out, it will happen.